Hey there, Improv Tipsters. Welcome back to Improv Tips, where I and some of the best improvisers in the world give you improv tips and advice to make you a better, more confident, and happier improviser wherever you are in your improv journey. I am, as always, your host, Paul Vaillancourt. Let's begin. Our guest tipper today is Will Luera. Now, Will has done a million things in improv, including being the Director of Improvisation for Florida Studio Theater, being the Artistic Director of the Improv Asylum, being the Artistic Director Emeritus of ImprovBoston, on and on and on and on. So many things. Ding, ding. All of his information is down below, including how to get in touch with him. I advise you to do that. Also, while you're there, check out his website. I thought it was really interesting and brought so much sort of depth and understanding of like how he sees improv and what he's doing in improv. And it really made me think, hey, there's a lot of really great things going on in improv, and he's doing a lot of them. I will alert you to a couple things about this improv tip today. I don't want to say too much about it because I want you to hear it from him, but I will point out that he says this idea of playful antagonism, playfully antagonizing other players. I think that's really interesting. And also, at the end of the video, he gives an exercise to implement some of the things he's talking about in the video. It is this thoroughness, I'm sure, that has led him to be the director of all improvisation on the East Coast. Right? Let's be honest. Before we get to his video, if you are enjoying the improv tips, please consider subscribing or liking or dropping a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the improv tips. If you have any questions or comments, add to the conversation that we're having here on the YouTube channel. Okay? Without any further ado, though, please sit back, relax, and enjoy Will Luera.
Hey everyone, this is Will Luera, and today I want to talk about following the fun knee. Now, as you all know, I teach a type of improv that focuses on freeform. I'm part of a group called Big Bang that specializes in this style of improvisation. What we do is we take everything that we like from short form, everything that we like from long form, from musical, from narrative, and we just put it all in the pot. And the goal, the outcome is that we have all of these tools at our disposal that'll help us not only follow the fun, but also follow the fun knee. And so first of all, let's talk about what following the fun is. So for me, in every scene, in every moment in an improv show, there are these sparks of joy. There are these things that really bring you as an individual a sense of fun and of joy in the art that you're creating right now. And so what we do with all of these different tools is that we say, okay, you like this moment in a scene, you like this character that you've created or that somebody else has created, you like this line, you like this world that you've built. Let's dig into that a bit more. Let's follow that, right? So using whatever it is, cut-tos or tag-outs or what we call homily edits, right? Or organic transitions, we will continue to explore that bit of fun. And then we take that a little bit further. We say, well, let's follow the funny, right? Now, something that I might find fun, right? Maybe somebody else doesn't, but every now and then you'll hit upon this moment that multiple people find funny. And then what we do is we take those same bits of tools and we use them to explore that funny moment even more. And what's even better and what really adds energy to the entire show is when the audience also finds it funny. And so a lot of our actors, and I understand like sometimes we don't want to be too heavily influenced by everything that the audience is throwing out at us, but I do think that every improv show is a spontaneous agreement over that 30-minute show, 90-minute show, whatever. There's a spontaneous agreement that we're all creating this as one unit. And so if an audience finds something funny and you find something funny and the team finds something funny, then let's dig into that. That line of dialogue that one character said, let's unpack that even more. That environment that you've created with these wacky characters, let's unpack that even more. That character that you've created that's getting this great response from the audience, let's dig a little bit more into their backstory and find out what they're all about. Let's follow the funny. Let's follow that joy, that spark that brings us to the stage, that brings us to the theater, that brings us 30 minutes early to connect with our cast. That joy is what I like to capture. I know that sometimes it's not technically correct to break on stage, right? It's not necessarily the cleanest thing to do. And I, most often than not, teach my students and my actors, how to justify that, how to work around those moments. That being said, I love when I am playfully antagonized and when I am playfully antagonized my castmates. When I need to try my best not to break because my cast members see what tickles me, see what brings me joy. And then when I see the same in them, and then we both playfully antagonize one another, right? Just like when we watch those like videos of different pets or animals playing with one another, playfully antagonizing one another, then the audience gets in on it, and now everybody is starting to feel that sizzle, that joy underneath the show, right? Yes, we might have this really tight core, this technically good, great scene, right? And then on top of that are the bells and whistles of an improv show, right? The costumes, the props, the genre, the premise, all of that is built. Then underneath, right? That sizzle underneath that is carrying this whole thing, right? Is this playfulness, right? That's the energy that everything else is sitting on. And that is what I am constantly seeking. I love to follow that. That's me following the fun, following the funny, and playing as an ensemble in that space. And then it becomes contagious, and everybody who's watching and everybody who's in the space can't help but feel that and join. I love it after a show, and I'm sure we all have sensed it when audiences leave saying, my cheeks hurt, not only from laughing so much, but from smiling so much. And then that's when you know that you've got them, because they're with you the whole time. You don't need to be making them laugh the entire time, but if you're giving them joy the entire time and they're seeing you get joy out of it, I think that's a very special place. Some exercises I like to do to get us into this space, one of my favorite ones, is something that it's an exercise that I created called the monologue hotspot, or the true story hotspot. It's a very simple game. All I do is I ask, usually at a check-in before a show, or in certain classes, I'll say, hey, share something that you did this week. And then somebody will begin, something very simple, like, oh yeah, I had to take my car in to get the windshield wipers looked at because one of them was squeaking too much. And then what I ask everybody else to do is to pay attention to every little detail of what is being said. And if something sparks a memory, a story in you, raise your hand, wait to be called on, and then share your story. So, for example, you might be saying, that first person might be saying, yes, my windshield wiper was squeaking, and then you raise your hand. And then you're like, when I was a kid, I had this bike that had a very squeaky wheel. And the reason why is because I used to like to do wheelies on it. And then somebody else raises their hand after that and says, oh, I was one time riding a motorcycle, and the person that was driving it got it up on one wheel, and it was terrifying. And then somebody else raises their hand and is like, oh, wow, I get terrified when I go on upside down roller coasters. And then suddenly all we're doing is we're creating all of this connective tissue between all of these different stories. And then you'll get to this moment where you just start to pick up speed, and people will start to zero in on themes and zero in on ideas. People will start laughing. People will get very excited. You're creating that sizzle underneath that everything else sits on. And then not only are we creating that sizzle, not only are we having fun and following the funny and following the fun, but then we're also realizing how we're all connected through all these unique stories. Anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about. I have more classes and all of this, and I'm always happy to chat about the idea of following the fun and following the funny and freeform and Big Bang Improv and all of that. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you around. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for checking out the video, and if you want to hear a little bit more, check out one of these two quality videos. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and follow us on social media. All the links are in the description down below, and let me know what you would like to see an improv tip about. Thanks for watching.